language बोल रहे हो. So we all keep track of each other and we also support each other. So that helps everyone around, and it has transformed our life honestly. uh, uh, Simple things कि कितने बजे उठते हैं सुबह, कितने बजे दिन शुरू करते हैं, वहां से लेके हमारे विजन और हम लोग किस तरह से हम खुद को ट्रैक कर रहे हैं. Or we can also already see definite changes within few months in our life, in our business, in our social life, in our personal life, almost every field, and that's why I call it a transformation. So that's some few things which I cannot elaborate a lot, but I can only express my gratitude.
Correct, sir. I think Shyam sir is here. Sir, all over to you. If you would like to comment anything on what he said. Sir, you are on mute.
आप मेरा स्क्रीन देख पा रहे हैं?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why quickly I can give my small comments on what Reji, can you mute all? Quickly, I can give comments what Malharji is saying. It is truly transformational program, and I realize digitization has given us a new wing. Digitization, for example, in the case of Malharji used to sit with his two children and wife together in the program on Zoom. And unbelievably, when the thoughts, single kind of thoughts go into all four family members, there is a coherence of thoughts. And I think that is what Malharji has experienced. It is nothing magic. It is a very simple, smart way of working. Unfortunately, India believes in hard work, and I think smart work gives results. Okay, we'll explore this a bit later. As usual, we will have 1 minute silence. Please experience your thoughts right now, what you are thinking about. Try to make them steady. Try to not think. Time starts now. I will. Let me take you forward with my presentation. We have briefly touched how people who are unaware are engaged into activities only. But remember, activities cannot give you productivity. So therefore, the first step one has to take for becoming more productive in life, this all series is making you productive, more effective in life as also in business. We are saying life is not part of your business. We are saying business is part of your life. Therefore, focus on life as also you focus on your business, because business is very important component of life. And therefore, from activity, we will have to go to an ultimate stage of so-called creativity. But the first step one has to take is to become more aware about self. And what we are talking about journey of EPAD is making a journey towards enhancing awareness or awareness key enhancement. We have seen in our history, Guru Nanak's Mira, you name the people, Mahatma Buddha, they have reached to the pinnacles and heights of awareness. And when we begin the journey of awareness, we reach a stage where we are aware that we are aware and we become more productive, whether in life or in business. But I think we should not end there and we should go into a third step called creativity. That stage is a spiritual state because your mental and materialistic states will be left behind. You will have to cross over to another state which is called spiritual state, and that will bring you to a stage of called creativity. And great successes always in life, be it name any person who has been a great success, they have reached that state creativity. You may not be able to find them, you may not be able to find the reasons, you may not be able to know the possibility reasons, but they have actually crossed to a state where they are unaware that they are unaware. और जब वो ऐसी स्थिति में पहुंच जाते हैं कि उनको भी मालूम नहीं होता है कि उन्हें मालूम है, दैट इज द स्टेज वी क्रॉस टू. इसको मैं एक दूसरे डायग्राम में प्रेजेंट करूं तो एक्सप्लोरेशन से एक्सप्रेशन होगा और एक्सप्रेशन से आपकी वाया एक्सपीरियंसिंग आपका प्रेजेंटेशन होगा लाइफ में. थ्री व्हील बोलता हूं मैं इसको. एक्सप्लोर, राइट फ्रॉम बर्थ यू स्टार्ट एक्सप्लोरिंग and body mind soul help you, and then you start experiencing in those dimensions whatever is happening and exploring, and then you express these in your dimensions of family, in dimensions of society, dimensions of your business. So explore, experience and express, and that's what we call is Anveshan is a journey of awareness. Journey of awareness will need why before we find out what and how. Most businessmen I have come across, they start with what to do, how to do. I think it is not as important as finding why to do, and why comes first. Then you are there. Why can be split into two parts. One is purpose. Purpose is a compulsion, or purpose is a vision or a dream. EPAD, we are helping you to create your dream, create your vision. It is actually not to be created. It exists within you. You will have to bring it out somewhere. And once why is created, motivation, which is again either a stick or a carrot, but we believe that I will is a motivation. And when we learn why vision, and when we learn why motivation, I will, we can cross any boundaries that are appearing to stop us. No boundary can stop you. Limitations are within us, they are not outside us. So today we have a very interesting topic, and I hand over to Sama ma'am for taking it over. Energy. Very important is we are all part of one huge energy. We are also part of energy, and therefore we are energy. How do we manage that energy? Sama ma'am.
I will. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to start sharing my slides. Okay, great. So before I get into the topic of today, which is habits of energy, I'm going to do a quick recap of last week. But before I get into the recap, people who have joined new, जो last week नहीं आए थे, उनके लिए ये बताना मुझे interesting लगता है कि we are running this 52 weeks Build India, and within that, for the next 3 to 4 weeks, starting last week, we are going to run this small series, mini series of gifting yourself a new you. So in 2021, how do we become something that we've always wanted to be? So how do we make progress? And I think we mentioned it last time as well, that one thing that surely gives happiness, एक चीज जो पक्का आनंद देती है, वो है progress, वो है movement. When you are better than where you were yesterday, in whatever you do, big and small, it gives you a lot of happiness. So this is the theme. We are going to work with you on this, and hopefully you're enjoying it. I'm going to do a quick recap, and then we're going to get into the habits of energy. So हमने last week मैंने balance की बात करी थी, that why do we talk about balance, and this is not just about work life balance, it's about balance in all facets of life, क्योंकि हमारे जीवन के बहुत सारे पहलू हैं और हमें उन सब पहलुओं में fulfillment हमारा, this is something that we can achieve and we must achieve, but it takes time, it takes effort, because बहुत बारी हमने देखा है when we work with clients, हमें 24-25 साल हो गए हैं SME एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के साथ काम करते हुए, that ज़्यादातर SMEs के साथ, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के साथ हमने देखा है that business overshadows life. तो अगर हम दो गोले बनाए लाइफ और बिजनेस के, होना ऐसा चाहिए कि बिजनेस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, बट वास्तविकता में ये होता है कि बिजनेस कंज्यूम्स लाइफ. सो ना आपके पास फैमिली के लिए टाइम है, ना आपके पास सोसाइटी के लिए टाइम है, ना आपके पास अपनी बॉडी के लिए टाइम है, ना आपके पास अपने माइंड के लिए टाइम है. सो डू वी रियली वर्क ऑन आवर कैपेबिलिटीज, बिकॉज कैपेबिलिटीज वो तो चाकू की धार है, उसको आपको हर दूसरे दिन उसको तेज करना पड़ेगा, बट उसके लिए समय निकालना पड़ेगा. बट वो समय हमें नहीं मिलता बिकॉज हम निरंतर बिजनेसेस में फायर फाइटिंग करते रहते हैं. So that's our observation, and therefore it is even more critical that we find balance and we bring that grace in life. Balance will give you joy. आनंद जिसको बोलते हैं, it's not happiness, it is, उसकी quality थोड़ी happiness से अलग है. मैं happiness को बहुत temporary phenomenon मानती हूँ. You buy a new car and you're happy, but does a new car give you आनंद? I have my own doubts on that. So वो आनंद क्या है जो long lasting है? I think that is what we are after, because जब हम आनंद में होते हैं, हम जो भी करते हैं उसमें हम क्रिएटिविटी लेके आते हैं, उसमें हमारी प्रोडक्टिविटी बहुत एक अलग लेवल की होती है. एंड विद इन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ बैलेंस हमने बात करी थी व्हील ऑफ लाइफ की, विच इज बेसिकली द फंडामेंटल फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ ईपैड, जो जिसकी शाम से बहुत बात करते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट वी वर्क ऑन इन ईपैड. देयर इज द इनर सर्कल ऑफ द व्हील एंड देयर इज द आउटर सर्कल ऑफ द व्हील. जो अंदर का चक्का है, which is constituents of three things, which is your body, mind and soul. It drives your outer life. जो भी आप जग में एक्सप्रेशन करते हैं, जो भी अनुभूति करते हैं, एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, वो सब आप अपने शरीर, अपने मन और अपनी आत्मा के द्वारा करते हैं. और वो जो इनर व्हील है, आज हम उसकी हैबिट्स की बात करने वाले हैं, बट इन अ बिट लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली रिकैप. और जो बाहर का सर्कल है, उसकी एफिशिएंसी, उसकी प्रोडक्टिविटी, उसकी क्रिएटिविटी, उसकी गुणवत्ता बेसिकली ड्राइव होती है आपके हैबिट्स ऑफ अटेंशन से. मैंने ऐसे हैबिट्स ऑफ अटेंशन, इसका मतलब है आप किसकी संगत रखते हैं, आप क्या पढ़ते हैं, आप किस तरह के इंफॉर्मेशन को तवज्जो देते हैं और किस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन आप अपनी लाइफ में आने देते हैं. सो ऑल ऑफ दैट डिटरमिन्स व्हाट विल बी द क्वालिटी ऑफ योर आउटर सर्कल. And like I like to say कि balance and I think the wheel of life, ये इसीलिए भी बहुत ज़रूरी है. मैंने लास्ट टाइम भी मेंशन किया था, और मैं बहुत सारे ऐसे लोगों को हम मिलते हैं और जानते हैं. Even in the corporate world, when I was doing a job, there were many people who were successful but were not fulfilled. And I think success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. क्योंकि आप उसका नहीं कुछ कर सकते हो. आपको सक्सेस तो मिल गई, अगर आप अनसक्सेसफुल हो तो आप you can keep attempting, you can take learnings and you can become successful in small big ways. But अगर आप successful हो गए और fulfilled नहीं है, आनंद नहीं है जिंदगी में, तो उसका क्या करेंगे? So therefore success is important, but fulfillment is equally important. और मुझे लगता है कुछ उम्र के बाद या कुछ wisdom के बाद, any of the two, fulfillment becomes even more important. So I think that's the point of balance and fulfillment. Habits को थोड़ा समझ लेते हैं. Habits is it's a biochemical process in your brain. It is something that we must understand. क्योंकि अगर हमें अपनी आदतें बदलनी है, और आदतें क्यों बदलनी है, so let's talk about why do we need to change our habits, because we are what we do. So habits is what defines you, and therefore whatever you do every day, because Salman Khan goes to the gym every day and he works out for 3 hours every day, he is where he is. Because Akshay Kumar is ultra disciplined, he starts work at 5, is very conscious of time, is very conscious of his commitments, he is where he is. सो हम जो लाइफ में अचीव कर पाते हैं वो हम छोटी बड़ी हैबिट्स के थ्रू ही अचीव कर पाते हैं। और जो लोग उस सक्सेस को ढूंढ रहे हैं जो उनके लिए इल्यूसिव है, जो मृत तृष्णा की तरह है कि नहीं मिलती है, they must go and examine what they do every day, because आपकी सक्सेस या आपकी अनसक्सेस का या आपके फेलियर का, तीनों में से कुछ भी हो सकता है, उसका सारा स्रोत आपकी आदतों में छुपा है। What you do every day is extremely critical. ये जादू नहीं है, ये बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं। And therefore we have picked up this topic of habit. Habit क्या होता है? Habit essentially is a three-way loop. एक क्यू होता है, मतलब एक स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट होता है, एक स्पार्क होता है, उसको ऐसे समझे। वो एक लोकेशन भी हो सकता है, वो एक टाइम भी हो सकता है, एक समय भी हो सकता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हम जब घड़ी देखते हैं तो हम खाना खाते हैं। वो पीपल भी हो सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, बीइंग विद फ्रेंड्स इज अ क्यू टू हैविंग बियर और हैविंग वाइन, राइट? तो वो क्यू है। उसके बाद एक रूटीन किक ऑफ हो जाता है। योर ब्रेन इज यूज्ड टू इट कि एज सून एज फ्रेंड्स कम, व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ? यू थिंक चलो यार, लेट्स हैव अ ड्रिंक, राइट? That's your thought process which is triggered by that cue, that small cue. और ये बहुत नैनो सेकेंड्स, मिली सेकेंड्स का खेल है, इसीलिए इसमें सतर्कता और इसमें अवेयरनेस का बहुत सारा गेम है, जो शाम से बोलते रहते हैं। That if you become aware of what you are thinking, then it is easier to fix it, or is easier to move from where you are. उसके बाद एक आप रूटीन में चले जाते हैं और उस रूटीन से आपको एक रिवॉर्ड मिलता है। वो रिवॉर्ड इमोशनल हो सकता है, वो रिवॉर्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फूड हो सकता है, वो रिवॉर्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ शाबाशी हो सकता है, अप्रिसिएशन हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है। Whatever your good bad habits are, they are all following this routine today. So अगर गुड हैबिट है, उसके इस साइकिल को, इस लूप को स्ट्रेंथन करिए। अगर बैड हैबिट है तो इस लूप को रिप्लेस करने की कोशिश करिए, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू इरेज हैबिट्स। आप बिल्कुल उसको खत्म करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, बस एक हैबिट को आप रिप्लेस कर सकते हो। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आप बोर्डम से खाते हो, जैसे मैं खाती थी और मैंने लास्ट टाइम भी एग्जाम्पल आपको दिया, और अगर आपके पास चिप्स का पैकेट पड़ा है और आप बोर हो, आप खा रहे हो, उसको रिप्लेस करो। बोर्डम कैन ऑल्सो क्यू ईटिंग एन एप्पल फॉर एग्जाम्पल, but which means that you don't stock up on chips, you don't have biscuits and chips near you at all, because वो लोकेशन का क्यों है। अगर आपके पास पड़ा हुआ है मर्तपान और उसमें बिस्किट पड़े हुए हैं, आपको पता भी नहीं लगेगा कि आपने कब ढक्कन खोला, आपने कब उसमें से बिस्किट निकाला, और आपने उसमें से कब 10 बिस्किट खा लिए। I have seen people eat packets of biscuit like this. They don't even realize it. We don't realize it. So we have to bring awareness. We have to figure out what we want to change, and we have to reward ourselves. Neeru, you want to add something?
No.
So, and I think when we're talking about habits, it's a lot of people, ask me, and we see a lot of discussion around it, कि बुरी आदतें लगने में इतना समय क्यों नहीं लगता? मतलब क्यों एक्सरसाइज करना, जिम करना, या अपने समय की कदर करना, या समय वेस्ट ना करना, या बी में नहीं जाना, ब्लेम में नहीं जाना, अकाउंटेबिलिटी लेना, दिस इज हैबिट ऑफ थिंकिंग। क्यों इसको इनकलकेट करने में, इसको नर्चर करने में इतना समय लगता है? बट जो बुरी आदतें हैं वो कैसे फट यू डोंट इवन रियलाइज एंड यू कैन टेक ओवर बैड हैबिट्स। उसका बहुत सरल रीजन है, 3 चीजें हैं जो हर बुरी आदत में होती हैं। बहुत ओमनी प्रेजेंट होता है वो, अवेलेबिलिटी उसकी बहुत ईजी होती है, आपको दिखता है, मैकडोनल्ड्स आपको हर जगह दिखता है, बर्गर किंग दिखता है, आपको चिप्स के पैकेट दिखते हैं, आपको लोग टीवी देखते हुए दिखते हैं। These are all visual cues. These are all, everybody is doing it and it's everywhere. It's very convenient. Sitting on your couch and watching TV for 6 hours and for example, वो जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, binge watching, बड़ा convenient है। क्या करना है उसमें? कुछ नहीं करना है, उंगली भी नहीं उठानी है। And you have to realize, and I think I say this repeatedly, that we are not as smart as we think we are. We have evolved from very primitive brains, and our brain is still extremely primitive to what it requires to do in the current situation. Our brain, our body is a survival machine. Even though we don't have issues of survival anymore, it is still a survival machine. And when I come to habits of energy, we will talk about food, and I think I will give you illustrations. We are a reptilian brain. So हमें survival समझ में आता है और हमें कंफर्ट समझ में आता है, बिकॉज कंफर्ट वाज लग्जरी। जब आप जंगल में घूमते थे, आप बैठ नहीं सकते थे, आप बैठोगे, आग जलाए बिना अगर आप सो गए, आग जलाए बिना आप बैठे हो, यार अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट किए बैठे हो, यू आर गोइंग टू बी समबडीज लंच और डिनर. But today it is not like that, but our brain still operates like that. So it wants to rest, it wants to sit, it wants to relax, and we are exactly giving it that when we sit in front of the TV and watch Netflix or whatever that people watch for hours together. It's very convenient. और तीसरा, रिवॉर्ड्स इमीडिएट है. मैं रिवॉर्ड्स अच्छे और बुरे की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, बट जिस तरह आपका ब्रेन प्रोसेस करता है रिवॉर्ड्स को, रिवॉर्ड्स बहुत इमीडिएट होते हैं. यू ईट अ बर्गर, you feel happy instantly, right? You put a chocolate cake in your mouth, it melts on your tongue, and you feel joyous instantly, right? And the cost is delayed. You may put on weight over a period of 10 years. When do you come to know? When you have hypertension, when you have all sorts of issues, diabetes, blood pressure, and that's when you figure out कि यार जो 10 साल पहले किया था, that is all now accumulating. तो बुरी आदतों की ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज होती है कि उसकी बेनिफिट्स बहुत इमीडिएट होते हैं और उसकी कॉस्ट डिलेड होते हैं. तो आपको, और मैं इसलिए आपको ये बता रही हूँ क्योंकि कोई भी अगर आप आदत बुरी से अच्छी में कन्वर्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो आपको ये तीनों चीजें उसके लिए करनी पड़ेंगी. Right? Let me give you a small example. I used to work in Danone and I used to work in the Singapore office. And we were a health food company, and our mission, about 50 years back, Danone's mission was very different. And in about 20 years, they changed the mission completely to be a health food company. And therefore, they started with their employees, saying that coffee station pay, pehle biscuits, chips, Diet Coke, blah, 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 was stopped. But the moment the mission changed, at all corners in the offices, not only in the office, not only in the coffee station, in every corner, in every place where there was a small place to keep something, we used to see apples, we used to see bananas, we used to see yogurts. Of course, Danone made yogurts, and they were healthy yogurts. So what happened was it became everywhere, and therefore the the temptation to go for a pack of chips reduced. क्योंकि आपको दिख रहा है यार सामने केला पड़ा, चलो यार यही खा लो यार, एटलीस्ट हेल्दी है. So therefore, when you want to attempt to change your habits, you need to make sure that the good examples or the good options are in front of you. और मैं वही चीज संगत के साथ भी रिलेट करती हूँ. जब आपको अपनी सक्सेस बढ़ानी है, आपको अपनी संगत को उठाना पड़ेगा, आपको अपनी संगत की औकात उठानी पड़ेगी, उसी से आपकी औकात उठेगी. और उसके लिए आपको ऐसे लोगों से अपने आप को घेरना पड़ेगा. Because if you're around the same people who are blaming, the same people who only see crisis, who only see problems, you are not going to be able to come out of that, because that becomes the benchmark. यार ये तो ऐसे ही होता है. पर जिंदगी जीने के बहुत सारे तरीके हैं और आपको उन लोगों के साथ जुड़ना पड़ेगा. And that's why I lead, and that's why we started I lead. So this is I wanted to talk about bad, because I think why bad is so successful gives us cues on हमें good को कैसे इसी framework में fit करना. The mechanics of changing your habits is very simple, like I mentioned last time as well. You must think big, but you have to execute small. There is no way that you're going to eat an elephant in one spoon bite. You will have to think about an elephant. So an elephant could be, I want to read one book a week. That's an elephant. If you're not reading today, that's a big elephant. But how do you get there? You get there by reading 2 minutes every day. So when I am in bed, before I sleep, I'm going to pick up a book and I am going to read it exactly for 2 minutes, and that's all. So when you create micro habits, इसको micro habits कहते हैं, when you create micro habits, you allow yourself to be successful. Because we must not set ourselves up for failure. हम यही करते हैं जब हम चेंज की बात सोचते हैं. मैंने बहुत लोगों को न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशंस बनाते हुए देखा है. कल तक तुम छोले भटूरे रोज खा रहे थे, पराठे खा रहे थे ब्रेकफास्ट में, and suddenly they want to say on 1st of January I'm going to have a healthy breakfast. I'm going to have a toast and I'm going to have a sugar-free tea, and look at the swing. It's not going to happen. And you're going to only make it very, very difficult for yourself. And then we start looking at willpower. कि यार हमारी ना willpower नहीं है, इसलिए नहीं होता. willpower एक लिमिटेड चीज है, उसको इन चीजों में एक्सपेंड ना करिए क्योंकि आप थक जाते हैं उससे. So therefore make it easier for yourself to succeed. but उस पे लगे रहो. Like last time I shared a Spanish proverb with you, which is slowly but without stopping. The important point is both are equally important. Don't rush into it. Don't pick up speed. So अगर आप नाश्ते में 2 पराठे खाते हैं, आप बोलिए कि मैं 3 महीने नाश्ते में एक ही पराठा खाऊं. Now that is a micro habit. You're just changing it little by little. Don't try to eat it all. It's not going to happen, and you're going to get demotivated, and that's not going to work. What's going to happen is you're going to drop it altogether. तो मैंने लोगों को 10-10 साल एक्सरसाइज छोड़ते हुए देखा है. मैंने 10-10 साल डाइटिंग या न्यूट्रिशनल फूड के ऊपर फोकस छोड़ते हुए देखा है. वो 1 महीना जिम जाते हैं और बोलते हैं यार मेरी बॉडी नहीं चेंज हुई है, मैं 6 पैक नहीं बने मेरे. भाई 6 पैक नहीं बन जाते 1 महीने में. So go and see the stories of people. You have to keep at it. अगर पत्थर तोड़ना है तो बहुत सारे हिट्स देने पड़ेंगे उसको. So शायद हो सकता है 101st हिट पे पत्थर में एक हल्का सा क्रैक पड़े, पर वो हल्का सा क्रैक 101 हिट की वजह से नहीं पड़ा है, वो पीछे के 100 हिट की वजह से पड़ा है. वो तो करने ही पड़ेंगे. And therefore you see all successful stories, all sustainable successful stories, you will see there is a continuous effort. Small but continuous. So keep that in mind. Reward yourself instantly. जैसे bad habits का instant reward होता है, good habits का instantly reward करो. And it could be self appreciation. If you do something well, if you eat 1 paratha instead of 2, reward yourself, right? Talk to yourself and say, वाह मैंने आज एक ही पराठा खाया. Share it with your family कि वाह I'm proud of myself कि मैंने एक ही पराठा खाया. So don't look for appreciation only from outside. Your self appreciation also means a lot. So say it aloud, say it to yourself. Go and stand in front of a mirror and say, wow, I did it today, right? Track your progress just with a simple yes and no. हो गया, आज किया कि नहीं किया, आज किया कि नहीं किया. So it's doable. I have done it. I have seen many people do it, and this is the only way to success. Change what you do every day, and you will change your life forever. There is no other way. There is no magic. There is no magic bullet. There is no potion. There is no आयुर्वेदिक पाउडर जो आप अपने खाने के ऊपर छिड़क के वेट लॉस कर सकते हैं. नहीं कर सकते, नहीं होता है, right? So there are no easy answers, but this is not very difficult. But you need to break it into small habits, make it easy for yourself. Like I said, it's a compounding process. और छोटा छोटा जब आप change करते हैं, you will see that in 6 months, in 7 months, in a year, depending on what you're trying to change, you will see that the result is so fantastic. It is not a summation. It is a multiplying effect. And that's what is interesting. So it's not linear. It is an arithmetic progression, and it's very, very interesting. You start learning a language word by word, and in 3 months you can converse basics. And that's amazing. And that's the beauty of doing small things every day. So before I get into the habits of energy, any questions? Harish, can we quickly take some questions or some sharing? If anybody did last week a challenge, we would love to hear from you. And or if anybody has questions on balance and habits, they can ask the questions now.
Okay, I think Nikhil ji wants to ask something.
Nikhil ji.
I can have it, ma'am.
Nikhil, how are you doing?
Fine, ma'am. Better now.
Better, okay. Yes.
Yeah. तो मेरा सवाल ये है कि जैसे हाउ डू यू इनिशिएट समथिंग, जैसे कि आपकी कोई बैड हैबिट है, आपको पता है, एंड यू वांट टू गेट आउट ऑफ इट. व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल पॉइंट व्हेन यू कैन फ्रॉम वेयर यू कैन एक्चुअली जंप ऑफ? मतलब how does it start? I have done it, but I don't know the science of it. Like I shared last week how I quit soft drinks, how I quit sugar, but then to replicate it, I don't know the exact technique or the science behind it. So if you can please share about it.
I mean, I don't think it's a very easy answer, and I don't think it's a formula, Nikhil. But कभी-कभी urgency of situation makes you want to change. कभी-कभी जो why होता है उस change का वो बहुत बड़ा हो जाता है. And therefore you start to want to make that change. It can happen for different people at different points in life. Sometimes people around you, the fact that they will probably be happier, sort of fulfills you and motivates you to do that. So बहुत सारे reasons हो सकते हैं. समय का भी तकाजा होता है कभी-कभी, Nikhil. So it is. I know people. I know friends. I know a very, very dear friend of mine. जिसको मैं 15 साल तक बोलती रही कि यार जिम चला जा, he used to be overweight and I used to say जिम चला जा, कुछ कर ले कुछ कर ले कुछ कर ले, but it didn't happen. And one fine day the same message struck, and he went to Jindal, he lost a lot of weight, he was 113 kgs, he brought it down. So it's many things together, but if you want to change something, I think उसको बहुत science को बहुत overthink मत करो. I think किसी भी चीज को overthink करते हैं, I think we lose the what we are capable of in terms of in an automatic mode. We just need to know the basics, and if you are looking at changing a habit, try to find the why कि मुझे क्यों बदलना है, and maybe that will work.
Sama, can I just step in?
Yes.
So Nikhil, and this is true for almost all of us, we don't change anything that we don't accept. So ये है ना, बहुत टाइम तक we keep telling ourselves कि करता हूँ but ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कोई भी तरह की, इट इज ओके, मैं इसको कभी भी छोड़ सकता हूँ. आप अपने आप को महाउल्लू बना रहे हैं. So first have the courage to accept it, look at it in the eye and say, you know what, ये मैं करता हूँ और इसको मैं बदलना चाहता हूँ, and I am struggling with it. So I think acceptance है ना, बहुत जगह कुछ नहीं होता है, इसलिए जब acceptance नहीं होती है, आप कितनी भी scientific चीजें लगा लो, कितनी भी strategies लगा लो, it is not going to work. So Nikhil, I would really urge you to really now, right now, take a pen and paper and ask yourself, कौन सी bad habit के बारे में reference कर रहे थे आप? हमारे साथ share मत करो, but अपने साथ जरूर share करो उसको, because that is the starting point.
Thank you.
Okay. The next one is Pradeep Shinoy. Pradeep ji, if you can ask the question. Okay. So the next is Mr. Shinoy, Tikete Shinoy.
This is Ganesh here. Thanks for the opportunity. I have seen that getting into a good habit, you get motivated, you get all charged up, you listen to people, watch videos, and then you start something new.
Yeah.
But then being on the path, consistency is the key, one of the keys towards success in whichever area it matters.
Yes.
That how do you stay the course? Because either the timing changes or the length of the work, it changes. So how do you stay the course and achieve that goal? Because consistency, being on course, is so very important. Starting is easy. So what's the key to stay put even when testing circumstances come and achieve it? Thank
Hi
you.
Ganesh, I will. I think again, not a single answer. You have to employ many things. It's almost like, Ganesh, you have to game your mind a little bit. And I think, like I was mentioning in the earlier slide, that you have to do small things. That's number one. And like you said, you'll get nowhere with nowhere without consistency. Right? So that has to happen. Tracking has to be not something that you do in your mind. Right? So it has to be something which is on paper and that you see every day. That did I do it? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And the more visual you make it, not only for yourself, but even for people around you, you will feel more motivated, and sometimes you will feel more compelled to stay on track. That could be the third strategy you could employ. The fourth strategy you could employ is, for example, to what we call as commitment devices. Is there somebody else who is as interested in that journey as you are? And और क्या आप उनको अपने साथ जोड़ सकते हैं? Can you either leverage them to keep you on track? So how do you keep yourself accountable? It could be your wife, it could be your children, it could be your friend, it could be anybody. So there are many small things that you keep doing. Sometimes also visualizing the end makes it very interesting, right? So for example, when you do weight loss, and many of the good weight loss consultants will ask you to hang the t-shirt or the trouser or whatever that was, which does not fit you now, and you hope to wear in the future after your weight loss, to hang it right in front of you, to not throw it, but to take it out of your closet and see it every day. So that end point motivates you. So there are many small things that you can do, but essentially you have to game. So if you think that this is an easy one and you will stay the course without any effort, I disagree. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of things that you need to do. But after a while, and I think it depends on many things, but I think 3 to 6 months, I would think that the habit starts to take root, because that biochemical loop is complete and your brain will not let it go very easily. And if you attach it with your identity, that I am a fit person or I am a cool guy, I think it becomes easier for you to work at it, to keep at it. No easy answers, but these are some strategies you can employ.
Ma'am, can we take some more or?
I think just quickly one more, Harish.
इसमें एक चीज बोलना चाह, हरीश जी 1 मिनट दे दोगे?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
इसमें एक दोहा याद आता है, करत करत अभ्यास के जड़मत होत सुजान। अभ्यास करते करते जड़ भी जागृत अवस्था में आ जाता है। जैसे उसने दोहा के कंपैरिजन किया है, आवत जावत रस्सी के घस जाए पाषाण। पहले के टाइम में कुएं होते थे, कुएं में एक पत्थर लगा के और रस्सी को लटका दिया जाता था। पत्थर में अभी ग्राइंड करने की उन दिनों में टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थी, लेकिन रस्सी के आने जाने से पत्थर घिस के उसकी शेप ले लेता था। तो लगे रहना पड़ेगा। पर एक चीज और भी मैं थोड़ी बहुत जानता हूं कि आपका आदत जो आज बन चुका है, वो आपकी हमेशा कहीं खिड़की के बाहर खड़ी होगी, चाहे वो 1 दिन बाद वापस आए या 1 साल बाद आए, लेकिन आपको चौकन्ना रहना पड़ेगा। बिकॉज सर्किट्स वंस मेड will not be erased. So you can create new circuits by efforts, but old circuits are also saying बेटा ठीक है, थोड़े टाइम बाद देखेंगे तेरे को। ओके, हरीश जी।
I think next is Nehal ji, Nehal Shah.
हेलो मैम, मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि हैबिट चेंज तो हो जाती है धीरे धीरे, आपने जो बताया वो विद 3 to 6 months पीरियड, पर 6 महीने के पीरियड के बाद धीरे धीरे हम फिर सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर पे भी चले जाते, कभी कभी चले जाते हैं। तो हाउ टू अवॉइड दैट सिचुएशन, हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई कि हम फिर से कंफर्ट जोन में चले जाने लगे हैं?
तो नेहा सर, आपका गोल डिटरमाइन करेगा, यू विल हैव योर गोल इन फ्रंट। आई जस्ट आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन फॉर गणेश। सो बहुत सारी चीजें करनी पड़ती हैं। आपका गोल आपके सामने होना चाहिए कि आपने कितना अचीव कर लिया, और वो इम्पोर्टेंट होना चाहिए आपके लिए। और या नीरू?
I was just going to say, नेहल सर, ये है ना हमारी खुशफहमी है कि हम एक बार चल दिए तो रास्ते खुल जाएंगे, रास्ते मिल जाएंगे। आप जब तक जीवित हैं, और श्याम सर इसको हमेशा बात करते हैं, एंड स्पेशली इन EPAT सेशंस एंड आई लीड सेशंस, that till you are alive you have to keep doing this for yourself. आप कहीं रुक कर थोड़ी देर बैठ लें, आराम ले लें, वो ठीक है, बट उसके बाद फिर उठकर चलना वो फितरत है। सो कंफर्ट जोन से जैसे ही लगे कंफर्ट जोन में आ गए, गोल स्ट्रेच कर लीजिए। गोल स्ट्रेच करने से तो कोई मना नहीं कर रहा है, बट वी यूजुअली से क्या, अरे हाँ अब हो गया, हाँ इस लाइफ में इतना ही। I think that is where you have to watch.
Means sometimes we understand that we reach to the set goal and then we'll stop.
No, उसको फिर बढ़ाओ,
फिर आगे, then we'll stretch ahead.
Absolutely. Beat your best. EPAT क्या बोलता है? Beat your best consistently.
And
तो
that
लगे रहेंगे.
Yes, absolutely. And that beating your best is progress, and that is what gives Anand. बहुत सीधी सी क्वेश्चन है। Okay, so Harish, I'm just going to move on. We have it's already 10:45. So we're going to talk about habits of energy today. What are habits of energy? I'll go back to the wheel of life. These are the habits that are relevant to the inner circle, which is your body, your mind, and your soul. This is where you must fuel yourself with the right energy, and that is what will give you the efficiency of the outer wheel of how you live your life, and with how much fulfillment are you going to live that life. So body और mind की आज हम एक हिस्सा लेंगे, which is body and mind की habits. Next week we will take the habits of productivity and creativity, which come in the realm of sometimes bodies, mind, and soul also. So soul also will get added into those habits. So we will take that next session. Today I'm going to talk about two major things, two building blocks of our mind and our body. which is nutrition and exercise. First, I'll go to nutrition. Nutrition is what you eat. You are, and you are what you eat. And exercise is essentially you are a machine. You may be Sahil, you may be Sama, you may be Neeru, but at the core of it, you are a machine. और जैसे गाड़ी को गराज में कवर लगा के नहीं रखते हैं, वैसे ही हमारी बॉडीज को अगर हमने यूज नहीं किया, it is going to be detrimental for the efficiency of that machine. And therefore, moving is everything. That is how you keep yourself fit. And interestingly, exercising and being physically active also benefits your mind, because you release a lot of positive chemicals, dopamine, when you exercise. And when that happens, it gives you fulfillment, it gives you joy. And therefore, exercise is both a habit of the body and the mind. And so is nutrition. Nutrition doesn't only affect the way you look, it also affects the way you feel. अभी बहुत सारी रिसर्च हो रही है जो इस पे पॉइंट करती है, बहुत कंक्लूसिवली पॉइंट करती है कि जो हमारे गट में जो बैक्टीरिया है, एक्चुअली वो हमारे मूड्स को, हमारे ब्रेन को बहुत हद तक कंट्रोल करते हैं. और जो आप अपनी गट में डालते हैं, विच इज योर व्हाट यू ईट, is so very important. Therefore, we'll talk about nutrition and exercise. थोड़े से कॉन्सेप्ट्स आएंगे. I will try to simplify it. Again, I will mention, हमें PhD किसी चीज में नहीं करनी है, बट हमें थोड़े बेसिक्स समझने हैं ताकि we get started, ताकि हमें थोड़ा वाई समझ में आए, थोड़ा हमें अपनी बॉडीज के बारे में, हम और खाने के बारे में और एक्सरसाइज के बारे में समझ में. सो लेट्स जंप इनटू न्यूट्रिशन फर्स्ट, द वेरी बेसिक्स. एंड यू विल हियर दैट मोर नाउ. 10 साल पहले कोई कैलोरीज, 15 साल पहले इंडिया में कोई कैलोरीज नहीं जानता था. आज एटलीस्ट most women know what calories are, if not men. So let's talk about calories and let's talk about what is nutrition. So calories is what is the energy. Basically, it's a measure of energy. Like kilometer is a measure of distance, calorie is a measure of energy. It's called kilocalories. Calorie basically is how much amount of energy is required to heat 1 gram. 1 calorie heats 1 gram of water. And that's, we don't need to get into that, but calorie is a measure of what energy foods come from, because everything is energy. आप जो consume करते हो वो भी energy है, और जब आप input करते हो वो भी energy है. So if you want to lose weight or you want to be fit, you need to know what are you eating. Therefore, what energy are you consuming and what energy are you expending. आप क्या अंदर ले रहे हैं energy, और आप क्या expend क्या कर रहे हैं energy को, आप उसको खर्च कैसे कर रहे हैं energy को. So that you need to know. But calories is just a beginning. More than calories, nutrition is important. और खाना न्यूट्रिशियस कब होता है? खाना न्यूट्रिशियस तब होता है जब उसमें सॉल्ट की मात्रा, उसमें चीनी की मात्रा, उसमें बैड फैट्स की मात्रा कम होती है, कम से कम होती है, और उसमें जब भरपूर मैक्रो और माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं. What are macronutrients? Macronutrients basically is fat, protein and carbs, and micronutrients are your vitamins, your minerals. These are all your micronutrients, and interestingly, water is also a micronutrient. So thoda sa just about that. All food is not nutritious. So all calories are not equal. There is a concept in fitness which is called empty calories. So what is an empty calorie? Empty calorie आपको energy तो देती है, पर आपको nutrition नहीं देती है. So for example, a 330 ml can of Coca-Cola is 250 calories, but in nutrition it is 0. So therefore, all calories are not made equal. The objective is to consume nutritional calories, right? So that's the basics. बहुत अगर इसको सिंप्लीफाई करें तो फूड्स को 2 कैटेगरीज में आप बहुत सरलता से डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. एक है जरूरत का खाना, व्हाट यू नीड, व्हाट माय बॉडी नीड्स, और दूसरा है मेरे डिजायर का खाना, व्हाट आई वांट टू ईट, क्या चीज है जो मैं क्रेव करता हूँ, राइट? ये दोनों कैटेगरीज हैं, ये अलग अलग कैटेगरीज हैं. आई टॉक अबाउट इट. सो जो नीड है, जो नीड के फूड्स हैं, बेसिकली वो चीजें हैं जो आपकी बॉडी को एनर्जी के लिए चाहिए. आपकी बॉडी एक मशीन है, जैसे गाड़ी को पेट्रोल चाहिए होता है, आपको खाना चाहिए. एंड दिस इज द कैटेगरी ऑफ फूड्स व्हिच मीट्स योर फिजियोलॉजिकल नीड्स, राइट? They are I think somebody is annotating and I need to stop annotating. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so, and this is basically, if you look at the major categories: fruit, vegetables, and nuts, whole grains. Please note the words. These are, I'm not talking about grains, I'm talking about whole grains, low fat dairy, and proteins. So this is what you need absolutely for sustaining your body. And this is usually these foods are high on macro and micronutrients, and they are, calories are not very high, and they're extremely nutritional. अगर मैं wants का food देखूं, it's just the reverse, and you will all recognize this. Either you, your kids, somebody is eating a lot of these. And basically desserts, जो सारा मीठा होता है, रसगुल्ला, गुलाब जामुन हो, केक हो, कोई भी वो चीज जो excessively savory होती है या excessively salty होती है. Add-ons, butter is one, malai is other. High fat meats, so for example pork, sausages, not the lean cuts. India में तो खैर इतना खाते नहीं, इसलिए I don't want to talk too much about it. But जो high fat meats होते हैं, sweetened beverages, all your meaty lassis, or your Starbucks milkshakes, they're all in this category. And lastly, of course, alcohol as well. Yes, even a simple glass of wine falls into this category. So what do these foods, इनको क्यों खाते हैं हम, right? बहुत interesting है. We eat them because they meet either emotional needs, or they meet social needs, or they meet psychological needs. This is not something that your body needs. This is something that your brain wants, and there is a difference. बहुत सारी चीजें हम दोस्तों के साथ खाते हैं, for example. बहुत सारी चीजें हम, for example, इंडिया में और बहुत सारी countries में, food is a way to celebrate life, right? And usually these foods are very high fat foods. पूरियाँ आप देखोगे किसी भी फंक्शन पे, शादी का जो खाना है बहुत रिच होता है. और इंटरेस्टिंगली हमें इसको समझने के लिए, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी परप्लेक्सिंग कि why does our body or why does our mind crave something that's not good for us? It's a very natural question, and I used to ask myself कि ऐसा क्यों है यार कि हमको वही चीज खानी है जो हमारे लिए अच्छा नहीं है. हमें, हमारे लिए वो अच्छी नहीं आज है. And again, I go back to the reptilian brain. We must remember that we are animals. We used to live in the jungle. जंगल में चीनी नहीं मिलती थी. जंगल में फ्रूट मिलता था, और वो भी सीजन में मिलता था, और वो भी पेड़ पे चढ़ के तोड़ना पड़ता था. एक दर्जन संतरे नहीं मिलते थे जंगल में, एक मिलता था, और वो भी बहुत मेहनत करके मिलता था. और उसमें जो चीनी होती थी, वो चीनी हमें स्कार्स होती थी. वो दैट चीनी was not available. आज जो आप सुपरमार्केट की शेल्फ में हनी की बोतल पे बोतल देखते हैं, आपके एंसेस्टर्स, जहां आपके बाप दादा, उन्होंने कभी बोतलें नहीं देखी थी शुगर की. Sugar cane was started processing 100 years back, 150 years back, in some form, in an industrialized form. तो हमारे एंसेस्टर्स ने चीनी का भंडार नहीं देखा है, उन्होंने चीनी की किल्लत देखी है, और इसीलिए हमारी बॉडीज आर डिजाइन टू स्टोर शुगर. चीनी मिली, धड़ाधड़ आपका ब्लड शुगर बढ़ता है, उससे इंसुलिन रिलीज होता है, और इंसुलिन का एक बहुत बड़ा काम है स्टोर करना फैट को. दे विल स्टोर द एनर्जी, बिकॉज दिस वाज समथिंग व्हिच वाज नॉट अवेलेबल. तो यार अगर आज 3 संतरे मिल रहे हैं तो खा लो, और इसको खा के इसको स्टोर करो, बिकॉज कल नहीं मिलेंगे, बट आज तो रोज मिलते हैं. आज तो बे सीजन फ्रूट मिलता है, आप कौन से सीजन में कौन सा फ्रूट खाना चाहते हो हाजिर हो सकता है. आज भी आपको आम मिल जाएगा. So this was not available billion years back, and our brain is the same version. There is no Apple, there is no Android sitting and updating and upgrading your brain system. There कोई नहीं है वहाँ पर. वो evolution से होता है, वो बहुत slow होता है. So आपका जो brain है, उसे नहीं समझ में आता कि चीनी बहुत है, बंद करो, right? So therefore your brain craves it all the time. The same is true for salt. The same is true for butter. और आप, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है, आवर बॉडी नोज हाउ टू हैंडल फैट, बट ओनली फैट. जब आप फैट को शुगर और कार्ब के साथ कंबाइन करते हो, अगेन इट क्रेव्स शुगर एंड इट स्टोर्स शुगर. तो आप अगर मक्खन अकेला खाने की कोशिश करिए, मेरा दावा है आप नहीं खा पाएंगे. पर आप पराठे के ऊपर डाल डाल के खाइए, आप बताइए कहाँ रुकना है वही नहीं पता है, राइट? सो दिस इज, बट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस, that this is how our brains are working. Therefore we need to find strategies to tackle this, right? So I wanted to talk about sugar very, very specifically. I also want to talk about 2 other concepts. One is called the glycemic index, which is basically how fast, which is what measures how fast does a certain food spike your blood sugar level. So आप जब भी कुछ खाते हैं आपका ब्लड शुगर रेगुलेट होता है, आपका ब्लड शुगर आपके ब्लड में जो आप खाते हैं उससे शुगर एक्सट्रैक्ट होता है. So all foods have a GI index. आप सेशन के बाद अगर आप इंटरेस्टेड हैं आप सर्च करेंगे, आपको हर खाने का GI इंडेक्स मिलेगा. It is measured on a scale of 1 to 100. So the higher the GI index of the food, the faster your blood sugar spikes. So अगर आप गुलाब जामुन खाते हैं, गुलाब जामुन का GI 100 के नजदीक होगा, शायद 100 ही होगा. जैसे ही आपने गुलाब जामुन मुंह में डाला, in matter of minutes your blood sugar will shoot up. And when your blood sugar shoots up, what happens is your body releases insulin. And when your body releases insulin, insulin starts to store fat. वही चीज अगर आप लो GI वाला फूड खाते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एप्पल खाते हैं, एप्पल का GI 23 या 25 होता है, I don't remember, it's about 23 or 25. That's a very low GI food. It also has sugar, but it doesn't spike your blood sugar. It takes time for the blood to get the sugar to come into the blood. It's slow and therefore it is healthy. So therefore, if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to become fit and healthy, look at the GI index. There's also another concept called glycemic load. उसको मैं थोड़ा सा बहुत ब्रीफली समझा देती हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स कैलकुलेट करने के लिए क्या होता है कि 50 ग्राम उस चीज का लिया जाता है और 50 ग्राम उस चीज का खाने पे कितना शुगर लेवल बढ़ता है उसको मापा जाता है. बट बहुत सारी चीजें आप 50 ग्राम नहीं खाते हो, आप कम खाते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल बीट रूट है, राइट, उसका ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स 70 के आसपास है जो हाई है. बट आप कभी भी 500 ग्राम बीट रूट साथ में नहीं खाओगे, आप बहुत थोड़ा सा खाओगे बीट रूट. एंड देयरफॉर also look at the GL, the load of the, आप बहुत छोटा खाने वाले हो, therefore it is a good food to have, it's not a bad food to have. So it's not a very, it sounds very complicated, but if you get into it, it's pretty simple. Even for now, if you look at the GI index, just the simple GI index of foods, you will know what to eat when. Another tip on GI is that some high GI fats are good to eat in the day, right? Some high sugar fruits, for example, चीकू है, उसका GI हाई है और क्योंकि छोटा होता है आप ज्यादा भी खा लेते हो. अगर उसको दूध में आपने शेक डाल के बना दिया तो आधा दर्जन चीकू आप शेक में डाल सकते हो. Now that is something that one, you must not eat in so much quantity, and second, you must eat in the day. Please don't eat high GI foods in the night because they spike blood sugar in the night, and that accumulates fat much more than having it in the day. So that's one concept I wanted to keep with you. The third very important concept, and I think this is more for your children, even for ourselves, but I think more for our children, the concept of processed versus unprocessed foods. So try and increase the quantity of unprocessed foods in your diet. Processed foods क्या होते हैं? Food हम हमेशा process करके खाते हैं. So for example, आपने आलू उबाला, boiling is also processing. But there are some foods which are categorized as ultra processed or highly processed. इसका मतलब आपने कोई उसके ऊपर प्रोसेस तो किया ही, पर आपने उस पे एडिटिव्स भी डाले. फॉर एग्जांपल स्टेबलाइजर डाले, चीनी डाली थोड़ी सी और सॉल्ट डाला थोड़ा सा और and that becomes ultra processed foods. The recommendation is to completely cut out ultra processed foods. What are ultra processed foods? Potato chips, high sugar drinks, all your pastas which you get in the supermarket, they all have stabilizers, additives. और आप देखेंगे ये बहुत सारे, I want to mention that because इंडिया में ये बहुत फैट चला है, baked snacks. और हमें लगता है baked snacks में बड़ा हेल्दी है, फ्राइड नहीं है. आप उसका न्यूट्रिशनल लेबल हर प्रोडक्ट को खरीदने से पहले प्लीज turn it around and look at its nutrition information. Look at how much added sodium does it have. Look at how much sugar does it have. Look at what emulsifiers, coloring agents, what all companies are putting into this, because they need to improve the shelf life of the product. ये सारा दो चीजों का गेम है. प्रोडक्ट की शेल्फ लाइफ कैसी बढ़ाई जाए और प्रोडक्ट को टेस्टी कैसे बनाया जाए, तभी तो आप वापस आओगे चॉकलेट बिस्किट खरीदने. अगर मैं चॉकलेट बिस्किट को हेल्दी बना दूंगा, टेस्टी नहीं बनाऊंगा, तो आप कभी नहीं खरीदोगे वापस. Therefore, get into the habit of flipping the packet and looking at the nutritional information. But as a rule, decrease your ultra processed foods. They're not good for you. They have absolutely no nutrition and they have tons of calories. So that is about the want and need foods. Simple rule. It's not easy in this in this age जहाँ पे खाना जोमेटो से घर पे डिलीवर होता है, अमेजोन हर कुछ घर पे डिलीवर करता है, सुपरमार्केट्स ऐसे डिजाइंड हैं कि आपको लगता है यार आज कुछ करने को नहीं, चलो सुपरमार्केट चलते हैं. सो इट्स सच एन इंटरेस्टिंग प्लेस टू बी बिकॉज इतने सारे प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, सब चमक रहे हैं, इंपोर्टेड कैन्स में चीजें पड़ी हैं. It activates your brain, it gives you your brain a kick, and therefore but what happens in supermarkets, वहाँ पे टेम्पटेशन होती है. सो टेम्पटेशन हमारे चारों तरफ है, इसलिए इसको शायद एलिमिनेट करना मुश्किल है, बट फॉलो दिस रूल ऑफ 80-20. Fill your stomachs with need foods 80% of times, and on some occasions, for example, go for the want foods. I give you my own example. I love cupcakes, and my calendar is 1 cupcake a month, and I track it. कि मैं एक से ज्यादा कपकेक एक महीने में नहीं खाऊंगी, एंड आई वेट फॉर इट. और मुझे कभी कभी अब तो ये लगने लगा है, पिछले आई थिंक 6-7 महीनों से मुझे ये लगने लगा है कि द वेटिंग इज बेटर देन द ईटिंग. आप करके देखना प्लीज. मुझे तो बहुत मजा वेटिंग में आता है कि ओहो संडे आ रहा है, मेरा कपकेक डे है, पर खा के इतना मजा नहीं आता जितना उसकी एंटिसिपेशन में आया. सो ट्राई इट. Put 20% on want foods, put the rest on your need foods. Eat fruits, try not to cut them, and keep away from juices. बहुत लोग सोचते हैं जूस हेल्दी है, जूस हेल्दी है, पर वो जिस क्वांटिटी हम उसको पीते हैं वो हेल्दी नहीं है. बिकॉज अगर अगेन यू गो बैक टू योर एंसेस्टर्स, उनको एक संतरा मिलता था 2 महीने में, आप एक जूस में 6 संतरे खा जाते हो एक टाइम पे. And you don't need it because it has sugar, and therefore that sugar kicks off your blood. It plays havoc with your blood sugar in your bloodstream. So therefore, juices are not good. Please have them if you have no other option. Generally, लोग सोचते हैं juices बहुत अच्छे हैं, no added sugar भी बहुत अच्छा है. Yes, juice without added sugar is good, but is it a need food? It's not a need food. You want to have a fruit, eat it full. Have a whole apple, have a whole orange, have a whole banana, but don't go for these shakes and these fruits. These are the most dangerous ones because we have an illusion of healthy, but it's not healthy. Whole grains खाइए जितना हो सके. दलिया है उसको प्रोसेस मत करिए बहुत. Don't. मैदा is ultra processed. मैदा is a form of wheat, but वो कितना फाइन हो जाता है, और जब वो फाइन हो जाता है उसके सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स तो आपने निकाल दिए और आपने सिर्फ वो जो कार्ब है उसको रखा है. So therefore these are ultra processed. Eat whole grains. And this can be milled grains, मतलब ये आटा भी हो सकता है, पर पूरी ग्रेन का आटा खरीदिए. तो अगर जब आप नोटिस करेंगे, अगर आपने होल ग्रेन का आटा कभी खाया है, आप 1 किलो से ज्यादा उसको नहीं स्टैक कर सकते, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 2 किलो, बिकॉज इट स्टार्ट्स टू गेट रैंसिड, बिकॉज इट हैज ऑल द गुड थिंग्स. इट हैज द फैट, इट हैज द जर्म, इट हैज द एंडोजर्म, इट हैज एवरीथिंग, और इसीलिए उसको आप स्टोर नहीं कर सकते हो बहुत, और इसीलिए कंपनियां उसको निकालती हैं क्योंकि उनको स्टोर करना है उसको. So therefore you have to be cognizant. Eat whole grains. They are all available. Amazon पे आपको कौन सी whole grain नहीं है जो आज की तारीख में मिलती नहीं. Find their recipes. There are tons of recipes and they are extremely delicious. Trust me. Low fat dairy खाइए, कम करिए, 20% ही खाइए अपने मील का, but खाइए कम खाइए. And have protein. Have lean protein. Chicken is a lean protein. Fish is a lean protein. Even lamb sometimes, mutton is good. Take the lean cuts and it's good. So follow the 80-20 principle and you will see a marked result, improvement in the way you look and in the way you feel. Very interestingly, both. So most people associate food with looks, but it is amazing that food not only contributes to your look, it contributes to who you are in your mind as well. So try and do that. And some of you, if you want to take the challenge, try and go off sugar completely for 2 weeks. बिल्कुल बंद कर दीजिए चीनी किसी भी फॉर्म में. And many things have sugar, so you have to be very careful. A spoon of mayonnaise has 9 grams of sugar, so be careful there. So read the labels, and if you want to do it, and you see what is the result in 2 weeks to your body. It's absolutely amazing. How you feel, not only how you look. Okay, so that was what to eat, and here we are coming to how much to eat, because that is also another challenge. So उबली हुई गोभी जितनी मर्जी खा लें पर आप खा नहीं पाएंगे. बट जहां तक बिस्किट्स का बात है, हम पैकेट के पैकेट दबा जाते हैं बिल्कुल. सो देयरफॉर, और खाना भी हम ऐसे ही खाते हैं. सो बी माइंडफुल. हाउ डू यू नो दैट यू आर ईटिंग राइट? Try to stay out of the 1-2 zone and the 6-7 zone that you can see on my screen. Don't keep yourself empty. A lot of women, lot of girls जो ये fat dieting करते हैं, मैंने भी अपनी लाइफ में बहुत करी है, तो मुझे मालूम है कि we keep ourselves hungry, सर दुखता है, you start becoming unproductive, you start getting bored. So don't be in the 6-7 zone. It's not a good zone. The 1-2 zone is equally bad, where you feel sleepy because you have eaten so much. और बहुत सारे लोगों को मैंने देखा है वो खा के बेल्ट खोलते हैं, right? So that is an indication that you're not eating right. Try and stay in the 3-4. 5 is okay if you're eating many meals. But if you're just eating 1 or 2 meals a day, don't leave yourself hungry. Don't let your stomach make all sorts of noises. Get into the 3 or 4 zone. So where you don't feel fully satisfied. उसी को हाहाबू बोलते हैं, जो आईलिड में हमारा एक कॉन्सेप्ट है कि कम खाओ. अपने आप को अगर आपको थोड़ा सा ऐसा लगता है कि यार पूरी तरह ना एकदम मजा नहीं आया, that is the stage when you need to stop eating. So you feel satisfied, you're not hungry anymore, and you for 2-3 hours you're good to go, right? अगेन अपनी थोड़ा सा ब्रेन को चकमा देने के लिए कुछ चीजें हम कर सकते हैं. We need to game it, we need to manage it. छोटी छोटी प्लेट्स यूज करिए खाना खाने के लिए, बोल्स यूज करिए. जब आप स्नैक करते हैं तो पैकेट मत लेके बैठिए अपने साथ, और हाथ पैकेट में डालते जाएंगे तो पूरी भुजिया की पैकेट खत्म हो जाती है 5-10 मिनट में. टेक अ स्मॉल बोल, put 2 spoons in it and eat it, right? Use small bowls, small plates, and use your fist as a measure. जब आप खाते भी हैं, मील भी खाते हैं, तो अपनी मुट्ठी के बराबर स्नैक्स खाइए. मूंगफली खानी है, 10, 12, 13 मूंगफली से ज्यादा नहीं खाना चाहिए. बट जब हम मूंगफली खाने लगते हैं तो हम पैकेट पे पैकेट खोलते जाते हैं. सो दैट इज वेयर पोर्शन ऑल्सो कम्स इनटू प्ले. टीवी के सामने खाना मत खाइए. फुली एंगेज विद योर फूड व्हेन यू ईट. डोंट चेक emails, don't do anything else, because when you do that, your attention is not on what you're eating, and your brain takes a while to signal being full. आपका पेट भर गया है, वो आपके ब्रेन को थोड़े समय बाद पता लगता है, तो उसको वो समय दीजिए. So stop sometimes, stop and say, am I feeling good? Am I feeling full? And धीरे धीरे you will figure out कि यार you probably overeat because your brain signal is not as fast. So those are a few tips on nutrition. Let's come to exercise. Another very, very interesting topic. Again, scientific, many concepts, endless है. पर मैं बहुत basics में, बहुत summary में जाके थोड़ा सा समझाने की कोशिश करूँगी इसको. Exercise is basically, there are 4 ways you can move your body. Let me put it this way, right? The first category of exercise is called endurance exercise, जिसको cardio भी बोलते हैं, जिम की लैंग्वेज में जिसको cardio बोलते हैं. Endurance exercises are basically which help you increase your breathing and your heart rate. And what does that do? That basically improves the functioning of your heart, your lung, and your respiratory system. And that is why endurance exercises are extremely critical. The second category of movement is called strength. Strength basically works on your muscle mass. It improves your metabolism and it increases your muscle mass. And why do you need to increase your muscle mass? Many reasons. One, there are only 2 things, muscle and fat. So if you increase muscle, what goes down? Fat goes down. And that's great. Why is that great? Because you look toned, and who doesn't want to look toned? Because the toning comes from the muscle. The flab comes from the fat. So the more you increase your muscle mass, the more you feel toned, you feel good, your body looks good, right? Second, muscle is also a fat burning machine. The more muscle you have, your muscle burns fat. As it moves, it burns fat. So therefore, it ensures that storage of fat is minimal. And lastly, most importantly, as we age, our bodies are designed to lose muscle mass. So if you want to keep active, even when you age, you need to make sure that your muscles are continuously strengthened. Again, coming back to the discussion between Nehal and Neeru ma'am, that it is a continuous process. आज अगर मैं weights कर रही हूँ, अगर मैं 14 दिन छोड़ दूँ weights करना, my muscle mass goes down. So you have to continuously be at it, but strength training is extremely crucial. क्योंकि बहुत लोग सोचते हैं ये चलने से, चक्कर लगाने से हो जाता है. But उसमें मेरा बहुत simple answer है, yes, चलना is something is better than nothing, but it doesn't do much to your fitness. The third category of movement is flexibility, which is basically ensuring the freedom of movement of your limbs, your bones, your hands, your legs. It also reduces, the more flexible you are, it reduces the risk of injury. तो आप अगर आपके आसपास अगर बिल्ली है, अगर आप और if you have a cat as a pet, ऐसा बोला जाता है कि cat has 9 lives. वो कहीं से भी कूदती है, वो अपने पैरों पे ही लैंड होती है या उसको चोट नहीं लगती है, because it's an extremely flexible body. So flexibility decreases your risk of injury. जितने आप स्टिफ होंगे उतनी आपकी इंजरी की, उतना ही आपको तोड़ना आसान होगा. जितने आप फ्लेक्सिबल होंगे उतने आपको तोड़ना मुश्किल होगा. और ये ओल्ड एज में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. A lot of serious issues happen in old age because of flexibility and lastly because of balance. ये दो चीजें होती हैं जिसकी वजह से फॉल्स होती हैं. आप देखेंगे जब you will have many hip fractures. जब लोग बूढ़े हो जाते हैं, you have a lot of incidents of hip fractures. Why is that? Because flexibility is low and balance is low. और जैसे आप बूढ़े होते हैं, आपको बैलेंस करने की और जरूरत पड़ती है. Therefore, you need to work on your body balance. Body balance also improves alignment. It improves your posture. You stand straight, you sit straight. So these are the 4 categories of movement, and all of them are important. एक करके मत, अगर फिटनेस का बहुत सीरियस गोल है, एक करके मत संतुष्ट हो जाइए और उसको स्प्लिट करिए. आपको 1 घंटा चलने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको 20 मिनट ब्रिस्क वॉकिंग की जरूरत है. That's when what we call your body moves into the discomfort zone. All benefits in life, mental or physical, happen in this zone. The more comfortable you are, the less you grow, the less you evolve. The same is true for exercise. So we have to avoid the pain zone, but we must, at all exercise sessions, we must move into the discomfort zone. And therefore, for all you women out there who go in droves to walk with mobile phones in hand, gappe lagate at 4 kilometers per hour, I want to tell you that it doesn't do much to your body. Unless you're walking for hours together, which is what a marathon is. और मैराथन की भी स्पीड 4 किलोमीटर नहीं होती, उनकी स्पीड 6, 6.5, 7 किलोमीटर पर आवर टच करती है. So you have to get into the comfort zone. बाकी तो दिल की तसल्ली के लिए सब कुछ अच्छा है, ख्याल बहुत अच्छा है, तसल्ली बहुत अच्छी है. But if you look at physiologically, it doesn't do much to your body. So if you want to walk brisk. Take something that measures your speed, right? Or take a Fitbit watch, it measures your distance, your time, and therefore you'll figure out your speed. And you must walk at least 6 kilometers an hour. Anything less than that is a ख्याल, बहुत अच्छा है, करते रहो. मैं बोलती हूँ कुछ नहीं करते उससे तो बहुत अच्छा है. टीवी के सामने बैठने से बहुत अच्छा है. I have no doubt about that. But it will not give you fitness levels that if that is your objective. अगर time pass objective है तो बहुत बढ़िया है. It's much better than watching TV. But if fitness hai, you have to get into the discomfort zone. The same is true for strength training. The same is true for yoga. So when I do yoga, for example, holding a posture for 10 seconds, 5 seconds is very simple. And the 11th second is where you start to feel the pain. And that's when it starts to get difficult. And that's when your body alters. It doesn't alter in the first 10 seconds. It starts to alter when you start feeling the pain. वो हल्का सा discomfort होता है यार कि बस I want to release this posture now. And that's the discomfort zone. मैं quickly आपको थोड़े से thumb rules बताती हूँ कितना करना चाहिए. Endurance जिसको cardio बोलते हैं, at least हफ्ते में 3 बार करिए, but अच्छा cardio करिए. Don't just walk, don't just stroll. Run best. If you can walk at a brisk pace, that's also good. Different muscles use होती हैं उसमें, but you get into the discomfort zone. Don't take more than 2 breaks in a week if you're doing endurance. So 5 दिन तो हफ्ते में करिए. और 20 मिनट भी अगर आप दौड़ रहे हैं, 20 मिनट अगर इंटरवल दौड़ रहे हैं तो 20 मिनट, 10 मिनट, 12 मिनट is more than enough, right? But if you're doing slower paces, 20 to 45 minutes or fluctuate between these. Strength, you must do at least 2 days a week. So strength is basically weights is one way. Resistance bands are 2 ways. There are also body weight exercises, which means you use your own body weight. So for example, push-up is a strength exercise, but you use your own body, right? Your body weight is what brings pressure on your arms. So that's a strength exercise using your own body weight. So there are many exercises that you can use for strength. You don't need fancy equipment. I have seen people who do biceps with water bottles in their hands, right? So that's good enough as well. So you can do that. No more than 3 days of chutti if you're doing strength. And again, 20 to 45 days. Flexibility. Yoga is awesome for flexibility. Stretching is awesome for flexibility. And if you're doing endurance and strength, you must stretch for at least 10 minutes after the session or before the session, sometimes both. Cool down or warm up जिसको बोलते हैं. और बैलेंस के लिए बहुत स्पेसिफिक योगा पोसेस हैं जो आप कर सकते हैं. You can do नटराजासन, you can do ट्री पोज. संस्कृत के नाम है, बहुत बड़े बड़े हैं, सो आप जस्ट सिंप्लीफाइड. जो इंग्लिश के नाम है मैंने लिखा है. चेयर पोज है, ट्री पोज है, नटराजासन है, वॉरियर पोज है. ये सब पोजेस हैं जो आपकी बैलेंस को इम्प्रूव करते हैं, because they put you in situations where either you're on one foot or you're holding one foot with the other hand, and therefore your balance improves, which is great for as you age. So this is a quick ballpark of how you can structure your fitness sessions. All 4 are important. I'm just repeating, all 4 are extremely important. And before we end the session, we have just about 10 minutes to take a few questions. I come back to this. I shared this last time as well, and I think we're going to end all sessions with this. That ये सब करने के लिए एक ही चीज है जो आपको सक्सेसफुल कर सकती है इन सारे एंडेवर्स में, वो है अपनी आइडेंटिटी को टटोलिए और अपनी आइडेंटिटी की औकात उठाइए. सो व्हाट डू यू वांट? वी ऑलवेज फाइंड अ वे टू गेट आवर मस्ट्स. अगर आपने अपना मस्ट डिफाइन कर लिया, ये दिस आई मस्ट डू, दिस आई मस्ट हैव, योर ब्रेन एंड योर एंटायर बीइंग विल एंश्योर कि आपके मस्ट्स पे टिक लगेगा, और वो लगेगा ही लगेगा. जो नहीं होता है वो शुड हैव्स नहीं होते. सो यू ऑल्सो, एवरीबडी हैज अ मस्ट लिस्ट एंड एवरीबडी हैज अ शुड हैव लिस्ट. और जब आप अपने मस्ट की औकात बढ़ाते हो तब आपकी लाइफ में प्रोग्रेस और परफॉर्मेंस आती है. सो I must do this on time, or I should do this on time. I must be committed to my marriage, or I should be committed to my marriage. This is the difference. If you have a must there, you will make it happen. If you have a should, it may or may not happen, and in most cases it doesn't happen, right? So therefore, go and revisit your musts and उनको उठाओ, उनका दर्जा उठाओ. ऐसे मस्ट रखो जिसमें मजा आए कि यार स्ट्रेच करो उनको. यार दिस इज माय मस्ट. माय मस्ट इज नॉट टू सर्वाइव. माय मस्ट इज टू फाइंड abundance in this universe which is present, right? Therefore the must will determine what you finally make out of your life and what identity you create for yourself. And I will repeat, that's my last slide. Progress is आनंद. जितना लाइफ में प्रोग्रेस करोगे, जिस भी चीज में इंपॉर्टेंट है, हर चीज इंपॉर्टेंट होने की जरूरत नहीं है, पर जो भी चीज शिद्दत से करना चाहते हो उसमें प्रोग्रेस करेंगे तो आनंद जरूर आएगा लाइफ में. एंड दैट्स वेयर वी विल लीव द हैबिट्स ऑफ एनर्जी. विल डू अ रिकैप नेक्स्ट वीक. वी कैन टेक सम क्वेश्चंस नाउ. हरीश.
Okay.
Sorry, Harish, I'll just kind of till you take a question.
Okay.
So I remember having a conversation with a lady, and वो कुछ भी हो जाए, housewife, and also an artist, कुछ भी हो जाए, वो 2 घंटा 1.5 घंटा aerobics and exercise, right? And I was very intrigued with her, so I asked her this question कि आप यार ये क्यों करते हो, मतलब why do you do this? And she said, देखो ऐसा है, मैंने डिसाइड किया है, मैं जब तक जीवित रहूंगी अपने 2 पैर पे जीवित रहूंगी. That is the decision I have taken. And then I probed her further. I said, ये decision आपने क्यों लिया है? He said, देखो ऐसा है, मेरी mom थी ना, she did not take care of her health and she was always sick. So whenever she was sick, because I was the eldest daughter in the house, I had to stop studying. I had to do so many things because I could not pursue my interests. And I don't want to be that burden on anybody. तो उन्होंने उनका मस्ट बहुत क्लियरली डिफाइन कर लिया है, मैं जब तक जीवित रहूंगी अपने 2 पैरों पे रहूंगी. एंड आई कैन अश्योर यू शी मस्ट बी एटलीस्ट 60 राइट नाउ. और आप मतलब ये जो 40-30 लोगों ईयर के लोग हमारे साथ जो जुड़े हुए हैं ना, उनके साथ आप मैं रेस करवा सकती हूँ एंड शी विल विन. She will win, right? That is the point of bringing your identity. I just wanted to give this example, Saman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neil. So, Harish, question.
Nandini Sampath wanted to ask something. Nandini
Yes, and I think Harish, just as a direction, we should let people who have never asked a question in this forum ask questions.
Correct. So Nandini ji, you
Yes.
can ask your question. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. It's already good afternoon or good morning and good morning. So, what is your opinion about intermittent fasting?
My opinion, I have interestingly I have been doing intermittent fasting now for lockdown में शुरू किया था मैंने और मेरे से अब छूट नहीं रहा है तो वो वाली दिक्कत हो गई है but I think it's so I'm a little not wary but I'm cautious about new phenomena.
Okay.
But मुझे ओवरऑल प्रिंसिपली नंदिनी मुझे ये समझ में आता है कि हमें खाना कम चाहिए.
Okay.
हम जितना खाते हैं हम उतना खाने की हमें बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं.
ठीक है.
And as we age, the requirement for food, the quantity of food actually goes down because your body isn't growing anymore. It's actually degrowing.
Right.
So इतना मुझे समझ में आता है कि खाने को कम करना है. अब intermittent fasting से करना है, cutting down one meal करना है, cutting down portions करना है. जैसे मर्जी करो मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
Okay.
I don't think it doesn't seem to have my own experience. I've been doing it. कोई harmful effects मुझे अभी तक दिखाई नहीं दिए. पर काफी सारी चीजों में बाद में आते हैं. But मुझे इतना समझ में आता है कि हम ज्यादा खाते हैं.
Okay, so you're saying small portions is better.
No, I'm not saying anything is better. No, Nandini, I'm not saying anything is better. I'm saying try it. If it works for you, anything that makes you eat less, and makes you eat good food, do it.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next is Pradeep Shetty.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, ma'am. So I had a question.
Yes.
Is it good to take the habits, the route of taking the habits alone, or is it better to take it with a partner or a set of people?
It depends, Pradeep. It depends on what the habit is, number one. It also depends who you are. What do you like, right? So would you like to do it with people? For example, me, I don't like to do it with people. I like to figure it out within myself, and that's what I find joy in. But some people like to tell 10 people, मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, मुझे motivate करो, मुझे आके उठाओ. So it depends on who you are. There is no right and wrong, Pradeep.
Okay.
But some habits, for example, if you're living in a family, right? So for example, if you want to change a food habit, and mostly, I don't know about you, and pardon me if I'm not correct here, but mostly men don't cook, women will cook, right? So therefore, if you want to change your habit, you will have to enlist your spouse, your mother, whoever cooks for you. Because without that, you will not be able to be on that journey, right? And sometimes also, मैं पंजाबी families में बोलती हूँ, माँ खिलाती जाएगी और ये भी बोलती जाएगी तू मोटा हो रहा है, right? So so therefore it's important for people around you to also understand this is important for you and that they should help you in that journey rather than pull you down and say तू क्या कर रहा है, what are you doing, you don't need to do this, पता नहीं कहाँ से सुन के आ जाते हो. हमारे बाप दादा तो पूरा 1 लीटर लस्सी पी जाते हैं. भाई पी जाते थे पर वो खेतों में काम करते थे. हम नहीं करते, आप बैठे रहते हो नेटफ्लिक्स देखते हो, तो how can you drink 1 liter of milk? You can't, right? So I think all these conversations के लिए कभी-कभी depending on what you want to shift, you might need to involve some people for making sure they support you and sometimes for making sure that they motivate you. So for example, I ask a lot of spouses to go to the gym together. It's far better, right? Unless you have a girlfriend in the gym, so that doesn't work.
No, as part of the reward that we get, is it something that we can reward each other with the things, or is it better to reward yourself and go?
Of course.
Okay.
It's a game, Pradeep. Play it to the fullest.
Okay, thank you. Pradeep ji. Next is Sorin Shah.
Yes.
Hi, Sama ma'am. Ashna here.
Hi, Ashna. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very good. Congratulations, Ashna. मुझे मालूम नहीं तुम्हारी शादी हो गई होनी है, but congratulations nevertheless.
Yeah, अभी बस नक्की हुआ है तो मैरिज में टाइम.
Naki is done. Yeah. Okay, good. Yes, go on, Ashna.
Okay, so the question is that in the past 3 years, I've lost like around 24 kgs.
Yes.
So, but be like I want to lose the last 4-5 kgs. But the challenge that I'm facing is that social gatherings where people offer you a lot of food, and even if you refuse, then someone or the other just forcibly makes you eat.
Yeah.
And so, how do you like politely refuse them, or how do you manage that?
So मेरा स्टाइल मैनेजमेंट का बहुत अलग होगा, आशना आपका बहुत अलग होगा. I'm quite sure. Politely refuse मुझे नहीं समझ में आता. So but I think there are many things. For example, एक तो make sure that you are not tempted. So first you should not be tempted, right? So that means that you must go to these parties on a full stomach.
Okay.
पार्टी में जाते हो, खाना खा के जाओ, दबा के खाना खा के जाओ, अच्छा खाना खा के जाओ, खाते जो अपने डाइट में खाते हो उससे थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा खा लो, कोई बात नहीं.
Okay.
So that when you look at food and people stuffing you with food, you will no longer be polite, sweetheart.
हाँ.
खा ही नहीं सकते उसको ना, ऐसे लगे भाई I will throw up now, right? So therefore your commitment to saying no will increase because your body will be repulsing it. यार मैं नहीं खा सकती हूँ. अगर भूखे पेट जाओगे तो फिर लगता है यार इतना बोल रहा है ना, खा ही लेते हैं यार.
हाँ, true.
अगर 2 भटूरे खा सकते हो और 3 खा के जाओ किसी पार्टी में और कोई तुम्हें एक और खिलाए, खा सकते हो क्या? नहीं खा. क्या बोलोगे उसको? बोले माफ कर यार, जो भी करना है कर, कोड़े लगा दे 100, पर मैं नहीं खा सकती.
हाँ.
So therefore you have to make sure that you have strategies to protect yourself from the temptation, because those temptations will give you excuses, Ashna.
Okay. हाँ, like then it gets difficult to control and say no because you're already hungry.
Once you start, मेरे साथ तो ऐसे होता है कि चल यार अभी खा लिया ना तो 1 या 2 खा लेना, आने दे.
हाँ, true.
Thank you, Ashna. Thank you, Ashna.
Thank you, Ashna.
Thank you.
Next is Dilip M. Dilip ji, please ask your question.
Sorry, Harish, I think Shyam sir wanted to say something.
मैंने गुजरात में एक चीज देखी है, बहुत पावरफुल है, वो है बाधा. बाधा का मतलब वो बोलते मैंने बाधा ली है कि मैं ये नहीं करूंगा, करूंगी. तो उसमें क्या है, अगर आप बाधा बोल दो या आप बोल दो मेरा आज उपवास है, तो nobody will insist. Otherwise that fellow wants to eat and he knows eating is bad and therefore he has to find a company and it finds in you.
True.
दूसरा मैंने एक रौनक पटेल से सीखा है कि आप ये डिसाइड कर लो अपने जीवन में कि जिस दिन मैं ओवर ईट करूंगी 500 रुपए का नोट फाड़ दूंगी. आशना मैं तुमको जानता हूं इसलिए तुम कभी नहीं फाड़ोगी, वो खाया नहीं जाएगा तुमसे.
बिल्कुल. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, over to
Dilip,
Harish ji.
yeah, Dilip ji, please go ahead.
I will. First of all, congrats to all Unnati team. And the title of this series, Gift Yourself New in the New Year, is really fantastic. Starting in end of October, so we get 5 weeks of energy, mental energy. So thanks for that. And I just want a bit confused about the title of today's session, Habits of Energy. Can you please enlighten a bit?
So
I got it, health and food, body and exercise. I got it, food and exercise.
So
But still,
habits,
can you elaborate?
Yes, Dilip sir. Habits of energy basically आपके शरीर को जो एनर्जी देते हैं उसकी आदतें. आपके शरीर को ऊर्जा कहाँ से मिलती है? मूवमेंट से मिलती है, ऊर्जा एक्सपेंड होती है, और ऊर्जा मेंटल ऊर्जा भी मिलती है मूवमेंट से, और खाने से तो ऊर्जा मिलती है. यू गेट एनर्जी फ्रॉम फूड. So food and exercise are habits of energy, and habits of energy make you move your body, your mind and soul. So that's why habit of energy. Okay, I think we are on the dot.
Yes, there is a question, and I think it's a beautiful question, and therefore I would want someone to respond on it. शुगर मना है तो क्या हम हनी और गुड़ खा सकते हैं? ये सवाल था, so I thought we should take it.
Yes. So sugar, honey, gourd, stevia, aspartame, they do the same stuff to your blood sugar levels. कोई फर्क नहीं है दोस्तों. इतना ही फर्क है कि जो आपकी white sugar है वो ultra processed category में आती है. तो गुड़ 1% better है sugar से, 1%, right? But that's about it. But you don't need it, and you certainly don't need it in the quantities we consume it in. And they're all the same. Manuka honey, New Zealand honey, falana honey, orange honey, they're all the same. Natural honey, ये बहुत सारे products में ये चकमा देने वाले words होते हैं. नेचुरल हनी, अरे तो नेचुरली है ना, हनी तो नेचुरली होता है, पर नेचुरल देख के आपको लगता है हाँ बहुत ये अच्छा होगा अपने बॉडी के लिए, खा सकते हैं 2-3 चम्मच, कोई बात नहीं, दूध में घोल के पियो, पानी में घोल के पियो, not required at all, and they're the same stuff. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Sama. And what about salt is a question, and I know there are other questions. Please send them to us on chat. We'll try and take them next time, or be present with us next time to be able to talk to us.
Yes.
And also we will try, I know some of you want to see some slides again. We will go back to the slides as soon as we are done. So last question to respond to, Sama, what about salt?
What about salt? So salt is again, you have to limit the quantities of salt, and I think it's well known fact, hypertension jisko hota hai, blood pressure hota hai, salt is not required. Figure out what is your daily consumption of salt. But इतना मैं आपको बोल सकती हूँ, जो घर में खाना बनता है ना, उसमें आप कभी एक्सीड नहीं करोगे सॉल्ट को. आप सॉल्ट को कहाँ एक्सीड करते हो? आप अल्ट्रा प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स जब खाते हो. So when you eat biscuits, and they also have salt by the way, when you eat chips, when you eat fries, these are the things, namkeen, these are the things which have excess salt, because excess salt gives you a taste kick. And therefore companies put either excess sugar or excess salt in the ultra processed foods. Therefore if you stop ultra processed foods, I can guarantee you आपकी mom या आपकी wife, आपका spouse या sister या जो भी घर में खाना बनाता है, वो excess salt नहीं डाल के बनाता होगा. And the second rule is, even if you find कि salt कम है, ऊपर से मत डालो, जैसा है खा लो, कोई बात नहीं. So refrain from this habit of adding salt ऊपर से. ये दो चीजें अगर आप करोगे, you will never exceed your salt issue. You will never exceed your salt limit for a day. If that makes sense, yeah? Okay. So
आज का challenge.
Yes, आज का challenge. You can see my slide, right?
Yes.
Okay, so calculate your ratio. So we talked about a slide. आपकी needs food आप कितने खाते हो और want food कितने खाते हो. एक हफ्ते का log बनाओ और पता करो कि आपका existing need और want food का ratio क्या है. कितना need खाते हो, कितना want खाते हो. और अगर इस रेशियो पे नहीं मिलता है, उसको 80-20 पे लेके आओ. 80 नीड खाओ और 20 वांट खाओ. It's a simple thing. Log your food and you will find extremely amazing insights of what you eat. Yeah. And next week we are going to continue the series. Like we said, we're going to continue till the end of December. We're going to talk about habits of productivity and creativity. Please tune in to us on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. It's always our pleasure to talk to you. We learn as much as you do.
I will say also invite your friends, those who can benefit without any political intentions. Those who can benefit, your friends, relatives, your vendors, please invite them, send them your link, and let us make India. What we are saying is let us build India. So please help us create this movement as one of the best movements of the world. Build India. Thank you very much. I will.
I'm just, anybody who wants to log off can please log off. For people who are waiting for the slides, I'm just going to run through them quickly. I'm going to start from...
Hi everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, so here we go. इस स्लाइड की फोटो प्लीज ले लीजिए. दिस इज द वीक चैलेंज, 80-20 रूल. Okay, great. I'm done. Thank you. Harish, I just need 2 minutes for the chats.
Yes, ma'am.
There were many questions, Harish, so maybe we need to probably take them next time.
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay, all right, we're done. Thank you. Thanks, Harish.
I can have all. We'll just we'll meet next Sunday, 10 o'clock. Thank you very much.